And then I got admission to a school in Norway, and then the US one. So I applied to one school in US and then two in Norway, got two admissions. So I had to decide where to go, you know.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to introduce to you an amazing young man that I came across not too long ago, and you will be blown away by his story. I'm super excited, super pumped up to inspire you by the journey that he's taken thus far. His name is Mr. Selikem Gotah. And I would give him the time to actually talk a little bit about himself. But by way of introduction, he's actually a PhD student at the prestigious New York University. And he, prior to that, he had a double master's and in the area of linguistics. And he's going to talk about that. Very, very exciting background. He's actually even had a degree or certification from Russia, you know, Russia of all places, right? And he's accepted to join us and speak to you guys. And one cool thing about him, or actually one amazing thing I learned about his journey going through his academic pursuit is that he, for some amazing reason, which he's going to tell us, was able to secure scholarships to study in the United States for both his master's and his PhD. That is not an easy feat, but he is going to share that inspiration so that you'll be able to actually walk in his footsteps and be able to get to your destination when it comes to your career path, career choice, and everything. So welcome to our channel, Mr. Selikem. You are most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I'm really excited to be here today.
Likewise. We are so thankful. We are extremely grateful for your time to join us. And I know we're going to have fun. We're going to have great fun. So hopefully, to get the ball rolling, just share a little snippet about your journey. Actually, I know you started from Ghana and now you moved through Ohio and all the way to New York. So can you just fill in the blanks for us? We are super excited to learn about your journey in terms of where you started and where you are right
now. Hello, everyone. I'm happy again to share my experience with you. I'll start by talking about my journey back in Ghana briefly, and then how I came to the US to continue with what I'm doing. Okay, so I had my secondary education in Mali School,
okay. In the Volta region.
In the Volta region. So
okay.
I left
of Ghana, Volta region of Ghana.
Of Ghana, yeah. So I left Mali School in 2008, and then I entered the University of Ghana in 2009, where I studied Russian linguistics and information studies.
Wow! Let me stop you right there. What will motivate a Ghanaian to study Russian in Ghana, of all places?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So,
you know, our system sometimes allow you to do what you want to do.
Okay.
Sometimes the system gives you what they think
is good for you.
Good for you.
I know that.
Yeah,
it's
called
okay. Yeah. I was going to say it's called lack of adequate choice. Sometimes the system doesn't give you the room to choose too many things.
Yes. So, you know, I had interest in languages. Okay. I studied in high school, literature, music. You know, those were my electives.
So actually, Ewe is the language predominantly spoken in the Volta region of Ghana.
Yeah.
Just to help my audience who are not from Ghana to understand what Ewe is.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah. So French, literature in English, and music were my electives in high school. So I wanted to continue with music and do something that is language related.
Hmm.
So I met a friend once when I visited University of Ghana, and he was studying the structure of words, the roots from which certain words are formed.
Right.
And I found it very interesting and fascinating. So I asked him which class was that, and he said linguistics. So I went to read about it, and I learned that it's about languages and how they work and all of that. So I chose linguistics in my application.
Wow.
I chose French, I chose music, and I chose psychology. Yeah.
Wow.
So I chose 4 subjects.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is purely art. I mean, those are super creative, artistic backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
I see. Did you have any? Is that in your bloodline or something like that? Or there are some families that is just the arts, the language, the culture. They do all of that. Like the Sutherland family in Ghana and those kind of things, where arts and language and things run through the family. There are some families that's just law. There are some families that's medicine. Does that pattern exist, or is just you choosing to be an outlier?
Yeah. So my dad and mom were choristers.
Oh wow! I know where it comes from. Then.
Yeah. So I used to listen to choral music at home a lot. Yeah, but it was just coincidental that I chose music because music was against CRS, that's Christian Religious Studies, and my sister who once was in high school and had to choose between CRS and something else with CRS, and said, "Oh, my brother, CRS is difficult. Don't take that class. So take a class that is against CRS." So I chose music.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And
wow!
God being so good, and then I excelled.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I wanted to do music. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask that. So that ended that in that case. So you ended up completing University of Ghana, majoring in linguistics, right?
Oh yes. I finished with linguistics and Russian.
Okay. Wow. And you told me about you actually studying in Russian.
Yes.
Man, you're a brave man. First of all, the cold weather here is ridiculous. And other things, which I'm not too sure. So whenever I see somebody studying Russia, within Russia, I say, "Wow, that's a tough guy." How was the experience like over there, and what did you study?
Yes, so I'll tell you that I chose this number of classes, and I didn't get all of them. I got linguistics, information studies, and Russian instead. Wow. Yeah, so I got just one of my choices.
Wow.
And Russian was kind of imposed on me,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I did French, so perhaps they thought that I had the language aptitude, to study another language. Yeah, so I did not want to study Russian in the beginning.
Okay.
But I heard the T at that time speak Russian with my professor, and I said, "Oh wow, he's Ghanaian. He speaks Russian. I can do that too."
Wow.
Yeah. After a failed attempt to change Russian and do music instead, I had to do Russian. And we're told that at the end of the 3rd year, the best 5 students would go to Moscow to study for 9 months. And I said, "Yeah, I'll be number 1."
Why not?
So,
wow.
So I worked very hard, and then I went to Russia to study.
Wow.
It was a good experience. That's the first time I left Ghana for another country. Yeah, so It was a good experience. And I look forward to
how shocking, or how I would say, how surprised were you with the changes in the first time I traveled outside Ghana, I traveled to England, and it was in the summer. So I didn't feel anything. The change was not that drastic. But for you, I can guess it would be a different story, right?
Yes, so I left Ghana in October
of winter
2012. And when I got to Russia, it was about 17 degrees Celsius. and that was cold for me, So I was in a jacket right from the airport. Yeah.
Amazing.
So the differences in temperature.
Yes.
Yeah, was actually an issue.
Wow.
Was a bit cold.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you ended up completing your studies in Russia, I think in 9 months, right?
9 months, yeah. Okay. Then I came back to Ghana.
Okay. Oh, you came back. Okay.
I came back to Ghana.
Your national service?
No, to finish my degree program. So after my 3 years at Legon, I went to Russia for 1 year, and then came back for my level 400.
Okay, I get it. I get it now. Oh, wow. Wow. So what led to you departing to study in the United States?
Yeah.
After Legon.
Yeah. So after my bachelor's degree, I was just thinking about finding a job in Ghana, and just working. But I had to do service first.
Yes.
So
national service.
I decided to teach Russian, and the department agreed to employ me. Okay. Let's just put it that way, to teach Russian.
So it's like a teaching assistant, right?
Yes.
Awesome. That's a very good thing. Normally they pick the best students, the best, top of the class, right? And give them the teaching assistant position. And basically, just to put it in context, in Ghana, you finished your bachelor's degree. You're supposed to mandatorily do 1 year national service. And the national service can post you anywhere, rural area or work in industry or anywhere. But the best of the students normally are picked up as teaching assistants, where they work to assist the professors and the rest. Am I right, Selikem?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So that was just off tangent, but let's get back to message. Yeah. So tell us about so you were doing teaching assistant, and what they gave you a full scholarship to travel, or what?
No. So at that time, my friend, who was my school father in high school, had left the country to pursue his master's. And we used to have conversations, here and there. And he was telling me about his experience there studying for his master's. And he recommended that I also, try and pursue graduate studies.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought about the whole thing, and I saw that, I have an interest in language, so why not go and do something extra in the area of linguistics?
Right.
Yeah. So I applied to one school in the US.
Okay.
I applied to 2 schools in Norway. Yeah. The Norwegian application was very common in the Department of Linguistics. So many of my colleagues in the linguistics department also applied.
Okay.
I got one rejection.
Okay.
From one of the schools that I applied to. I got a rejection.
Which is very good news. You always need to be rejected to pick the right one.
Absolutely. So I got rejected. And then I got admission to a school in Norway, and then the US one. So I applied to 1 school in US and then 2 in Norway, got 2 admissions. So I had to decide where to go,
Amazing.
Yeah, so I did consultations. I spoke with people, professors, to learn about the systems and which of them best serve my interest.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
So you chose the one in the US, right?
Yes, I chose the one in the US.
Okay. Which was
Ohio University.
Okay.
Ohio University.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Ohio. I could have gone to Norway because they had a better offer in terms of finances.
Okay.
Of course, they have a great program.
We will talk about the finances because you went to school on, was it full scholarship, right?
No, I had to pay
some things. Okay, but at least
from my stipend.
A greater part of it, right?
Yes.
was funded by somebody. We
Yeah.
are very interested in that story, so we will get
Yeah.
to that point. But I will let you continue your journey in the US for us. So actually, University of Ohio. So what did you do
Yeah.
at
Ohio
University of
University.
Ohio? I mean Ohio University. Sorry.
Yeah. So over there, I pursued a master's in applied linguistics.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
And
whoa,
yeah.
whoa! Applied linguistics.
Yes.
What? Te, from a bird's eye view, tell us what it is. So you did
Yeah.
linguistics in Legon, now applied linguistics. Okay, just
Yes.
give a little bit explanation of what it is. What does it do?
Yeah. So we're looking at how theories of language could be, applied in language teaching contexts. So language teaching and learning specifically. And so we learned about teaching methods, teaching materials, how best to teach a language,
Right.
the fact that you speak a language doesn't make you a good teacher of the language.
Right.
So I received training basically on how to
teach
languages in general.
Wow. I've learned something today, right? That I've learned applied linguistics.
Yeah. So my area was language teaching and learning using technology.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Using technology. Wow.
Yes.
Is it related to AI stuff or?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
This is just using videos and
amazing
pictures and all of that. Like
to teach language.
Using technology, computers to teach language. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And I noticed that you not only have one master's degree, you actually have two. So tell us about the second one.
Yes. So after my master's in applied linguistics, I wanted to do theoretical linguistics because that is where my interest really is.
Okay. So you've explained applied linguistics. Yes. Now you've thrown another one in our boat called theoretical linguistics. We will not leave you off the hook. You have to explain that to us as well. So theoretical linguistics, what does it mean?
Yeah, it has to do with the theories that underlie language in general. Okay. So what theories underlie the sounds of a language, what theories underlie how sentences are constructed, etc. So
I never would have thought about that. That there is that dynamics.
There are very interesting stuff to discover.
Wow. So all this while you were receiving some kind of mentoring from your school senior or your school friend. Were you still keeping in touch with him?
Oh yes. We spoke on a regular basis. Yeah.
Wow.
So I should point out that I wanted to just go straight and do a PhD in theoretical linguistics after my master's, because just move forward to another program in a PhD setting. Yeah, but I applied, and all the schools I applied to rejected my application.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, I was rejected. So I got 6 rejections.
Wow!
Let me just put it.
This is not Ghana. This is United States of America, where there's always a scramble, where schools scramble for students on certain programs, and to be rejected on all 6 is that. How devastating was that to you then?
Yeah, it was tough because I wanted to progress, and apparently I couldn't get into the schools. So I had to look for, like the next move. I wouldn't brood over that my entire life. I needed to move on. So what I needed to do at that point was to find out why I got rejected by all the schools.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did some diagnostics, to find out what happened. Yeah.
what were they? Were you able to
Oh
pinpoint
yes,
some of
yes,
them? If you can share some of them
yes.
with us.
Yeah, so it's about preparedness
Okay.
For what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the skill set that is required,
Mm-hmm.
for the program? Do you have the training that is required
Okay.
for such an advanced, level of studies?
Right.
So I did not have.
You were not ready yet.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I did not have the strong training in theoretical linguistics for a PhD.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
So
because I
that
was
made
I was I was moving to another area.
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that led you to do another master's in theoretical. Man, there's a lot in my mouth. Theoretical linguistics.
Yes. So I realized that I needed to do a master's on a theoretical topic.
Okay.
Go to conferences and share my research with people. Yeah, etc. I should also point out that it's not that I had a low GPA.
Never. I mean, for smart guy for you being a teaching assistant alone speaks volumes about your academics, man. That teaching assistant is the best. Students always are selected for teaching assistants.
Yeah, this is important because I'm offering advice on how to get into graduate school programs.
Yes.
So if you have the highest GPA, don't think that it's automatic that you would get admitted. Yeah. So I actually got a 3.98 at Legon.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I got a 3.93 in my first master's program. Okay. So if it were GPA,
that would have been a sail through. Yeah.
Excellent. So there are many factors to consider when applying for programs. Yeah. So I had to go and work on that aspect of my development with another master's. So I went with the goal of finishing that master's and getting all the things I needed to get into my dream PhD program.
Yes, which thankfully you didn't just get into your dream PhD program, but I tell you what, you got into one of the best schools in the world.
Wow! Yeah.
It's one of the best schools. I pray that one day my children will be able to go to that school. I've worked in that. I was employed in that school before, so I know how great that school is. I spent like 9 months in New York, and I was working for NYU in the finance department. So I had a feel of what the school was all about. It's top class school. So actually, you're currently pursuing your PhD in what?
In theoretical linguistics.
Wow.
So what I wanted to do after my first master's, now I have it. So I guess I needed to, prepare for it.
So do you even think that the first time you applied to get the PhD program going, when you were rejected by those 6 schools, do you think that those schools were better than NYU?
NYU was part of the schools I applied to.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can go ahead and ask the question.
Basically, I was just going to ask that because sometimes I like this kind of nice ending stories whereby, it would have been that, okay, the 6 schools that rejected you were no match to NYU, and then a year or 2 later, you got NYU, right? And it's like, I got you, man. I like those kind of stories.
I see what you mean. But, but a PhD is not really about competitions between schools. It's about your research and who best, or who is in the best position to help you achieve your goals and then your dreams, Okay. So, someone can go to, say, UCLA for a PhD.
Right.
In a particular area and do very well because there's someone in that department who works on stuff that he or she is interested in.
Wow.
So there are a lot of dynamics that we explore. So I'll tell you about how I from NYU and all of that.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that's actually a good segue because that's our next topic. So tell us a little bit about how, in a broader context, right? You're an African. You've gotten to the United States. You've done very well for yourself, under the circumstances. So can you share your experiences actually in study? What kind of experiences and let's say broad advice that you can also give to Africans looking to take the path that you want to take? Because one of the things I notice about you is that, when we were in school, most of us were being pushed into the business world. You finish your bachelor's, they say, go and do an MBA, go and do things that will give you money, right? But I noticed that your path, your career path has been very different. You've been very consistent in the path that you chose. You probably may have gotten people who may have tried to maybe sway you into what we call, quote unquote, mainstream careers, which probably will be choked by now. But the angle that you're taking, it's unique. So can you, share I know it's a big kind of question, big kind of thing, but in broad sense, what advice can you give to young people who want to study in the US in terms of program selection, school selection, and many other factors that probably may not even, I may not have in my mind at the moment that would be relevant to them. If you can shed the light on things like that, I think it would be great.
Okay, so that's very broad, and
I know.
to provide some details.
Okay.
I think that it's important for us to go as far back as parenting times. When we are growing up at home, the kind of things we are exposed to, some of those things shape our thinking.
Yes.
And the kind of things that we find interest in.
Yes.
So that's to our parents, like they should try and expose us to a lot of things so we can make choices that, oh, this is great. I'd like to, investigate this. I'd like to, serve in this area, and not just say, oh, my child wants to be a doctor and that's it.
Oh, I want my child to be a doctor.
Exactly. I want my child to be a doctor. No, let's not impose careers on our children. Yeah. So, first of all, it's important for us to identify what our interests are. What are we passionate about? Is there any problem that we see in society that we'd like to solve?
Right.
And is this something that we want to commit ourselves to doing?
Yes. Yes.
And is that something that we find a bit easy to do, or when you're engaging in something that you're passionate about, like tiredness is not an option. You might get tired at in the end, but you enjoy to do it.
Yes, fun.
You enjoy doing it, I should say. It's fun.
It's easy to become work.
Yeah. So we should be passion driven. What are you passionate about? What are you interested in, really? That's very important. And not to say, oh, this is where the money is, so I want to go there.
Okay.
Once you put the money first, you might end up not doing what you really are meant for, in shaping up society.
That's a good lesson you've hit on, right? It's an amazing, because most young people, when we're going, it's the money thing that was motivating most people.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be about the money. Think about your interests, what you're passionate about. Think about a problem that you'd like to solve.
Yes.
And once you have that thinking, the money will come automatically. But if you put the money first, then there's no point.
Yes.
Even going to school, you can go look for money.
Look for the money, yes, without the school.
Yeah. So
wow.
So people should find what they are interested in. If they are not able to do it on their own, they can seek the help of counselors.
Okay.
In our schools, we have school counselors. They do.
Do we have good counselors at University of Ghana and these African or African universities?
Yes, we have departments for that. So the University of Ghana has a counseling and placement center where you go and talk to counselors. They advise you on career issues and all of that. They help you to discover yourself, when it comes to interest and all of that. So we should explore these opportunities.
Yes.
The school is not just the classroom and homework assignments and all of that. The people on the campuses are resources.
Yes.
The offices that we have on the campuses are resources. So go to the counseling and placement center and have a chat with the counselor. You learn something about yourself, about careers and all of that.
Okay.
Attend seminars.
Okay.
Talk to people.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Seminar. Attending seminars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It could be
even. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that it could be the missing link in your career journey. Just meeting one person can transform your life.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. So first of all, interest, very important.
Yes.
Now, when you discover your interest, you have to find out how best you want to develop that interest.
Right.
For instance, if you have interest in, say, like curing a disease or something, yeah,
like coronavirus.
Yes. Yeah, or you have an interest in languages,
right, like you do.
Yeah, and you want to develop it. So what are the best things to do to develop that interest, for instance? Okay. Now, when you have that goal, you have to find a path to reaching the goal.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Good. So if somebody wants to do something like psychiatric stuff, like in a hospital, the person needs to get training in psychology, etc.
Yes.
Good. So first of all, the person has that done. Then the next thing is for the person to find out how to educate themselves, to achieve that goal.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So if the person wants to pursue, say, a master's in clinical psychology or something of that sort, the person should just go to the internet and make searches, or talk to someone who studies that, or someone who works in that department. So and ask questions.
So from me, let's just do a little bit of role play. I'm a young African guy, and I want to heed your advice. Sometimes, yes, I want to do a program, but I don't really know anybody who's done that before. How do I even find those kind of people to actually at least talk to? So I wanted to do, let's say, linguistics. I didn't know that Selikem existed anywhere. How is it easy, or what can I do to at least be able to talk to, or find a way by which I bring myself in closer proximity to guys like you?
Yeah, so you can just talk to your friends and ask, do you know anyone who does this?
Okay.
Maybe your friend knows someone.
Yes.
Or maybe your friend knows someone who knows someone. Who does that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that makes LinkedIn a very good resource.
Yes. So talk to people.
Yes.
And then even on Facebook, through posts that you engage with, you can see that, this person has interest in this. Then go to their inbox and respectfully send them a message and have a conversation. They can help you. Then you can just go to Google and enter linguistics, linguistics programs, masters, then stuff will pop up.
Yes.
So I can just give you an example. When I finished my first master's and I was rejected by all the schools, I needed to find another master's program in theoretical linguistics. So I just went online, schools admitting students after February in linguistics, that's what I did. And then I saw a number of them. So I looked through, this guys do this program, I'm not interested. This guys do this, I'm not interested. This person does this, I'm not interested. Then I just, sort out everything. And then I saw one that was a bit appealing. Then I wrote to one professor in the department that, I have this interest in ABC, and this is my goal. This is what I want to do in the next couple of years. And I saw that you do similar things and your department does ABC. So I would like to apply. Am I a good candidate for admissions? And Yeah. So I did that. And then she got back to me that, yeah, definitely you have a good record, and your interests are great. I have similar interests. So I encourage you to apply.
Wow.
Yeah. So the internet is there. It's not just for Facebook and WhatsApp and all of that.
that was a great, you're taking initiative.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So from there, what do we do? So now that we know which school or which program that we need to have, and we make the approaches, what are the next set of dynamics we need to?
Yeah. So when you find a school that looks like a place you would like to be,
right.
Look at the finance
side
of the website and check and see how do they support students.
Okay.
Yeah. Generally, in the US, we have what we call assistantships.
Okay.
So you have a graduate assistantship or a teaching assistantship.
Okay.
Then we have fellowships as well. Usually, for the fellowship, you don't really do any work. Okay. You're just doing your schoolwork and then you are being paid. Then the assistantship, you have to do some work. Okay. For the money.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a teaching assistant, you might have a class to yourself that you teach, like a professor of the class.
Yes.
Or you'd assist the professor by doing tutorials and all of that, grading, etc. Or when you are a graduate assistant, you might just help with research. Maybe you put some data together and observe and write generalizations about the data and all of that. Yeah. So look at the finance side and check what they have.
Wow.
And if things are not clear, look for maybe the department head or anyone that is there as a person of contact, and then write to them that, I have found the program is interesting. I have interest in that program. But I see that the section on finances is not very clear to me. Could you walk me through,
Yes.
Yeah. And many of them are happy to get back to you and tell you, this is what we have, this is what we have, this is what we have. You could explore these resources, A and B, etc.
Yes.
So you are gathering information.
Basically, that is even the best, because you are getting some kind of help with the financing of your education, right? Together with some kind of even work experience. In terms of maybe and it's a best combination.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I like the model. I like the model because when I came to the US first in Ohio, I had an assistantship. So I taught.
Okay.
The 4 semesters I did there, I taught.
Wow.
I mean, everything was on me because, you are in charge of the class. So prepare your own syllabus and just set your own exams and everything. And then you have a supervisor who comes to observe you. And then it gives you feedback that, I like the way you did this, that's great. Could you add this to the better, So you are learning on the job, So
yes. You're learning for free, basically.
Yes. So we have those options where you are a teaching assistant or graduate assistant.
So is best to find out from, as you said, the schools about some of these programs, so that even if your father was the richest man in, let's say, Ghana or Nigeria or anywhere, you still could save your parents some money, right? By
absolutely
finding out about these programs. And also, it's not just about the money; it's also about, as we said, the work experience.
Oh yes, I learned a lot.
Wow. Yeah. So this is exciting. This is exciting. It's like sometimes when you look at, I want to further my education, and you look at the big fat number that is thrown at the wall. Okay, I need to pay whatever it is, $1,000 or whatever, tens of that. That could scare somebody from just even trying. Have you encountered people who were stuck just because of they look at the big fat number and they didn't look at what do I do to peel the onion to see what is available for me.
Oh yes, yes. There are a lot of people who think that it's expensive
Yeah.
pursuing this program without exploring ways of helping pay the fees. Yeah. So it's useful.
Yeah,
To explore.
we will get to the next segment shortly, where we're going to talk about scholarships, basically purely scholarships. That we will get there, but before then, before we get to that, I just wanted you to share. What are some of the challenges that you see for as far as young Africans pursuing higher education in the United States is concerned? What are some of the challenges that they face, and what are some of the advice for them to be able to get around some of these challenges, if there are any?
You mean people already here?
People already like yourself. You've been through the system. If there are challenges for international students, especially Africans studying in the US, what are some of the challenges that they face? And how, basically, what are some of the challenges they face, and how they can overcome those kind of these common challenges?
Yeah, so that's a tough one.
Okay.
Just trying to recall some of the challenges.
Look, if there's no challenges, tell us there are no challenges. We'll just bring a ton of people.
Without challenges,
Yes.
we don't really grow. So
it's true.
They are part of the process.
It's true.
Yeah. So just like asking, what are the challenges that people face in grad programs? Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a ton of things to do, a lot of things to do within a short time.
Okay.
And and so you have to manage your time very well.
Okay.
Time management. Okay. So you have a lot of work to do in a very short time. So you have to manage your time, as I was saying.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then there are, of course, financial challenges.
Financial challenges. Do you get, as a student, do you get calls back home that uncle, send me this and send me the nice iPhone and things?
Absolutely.
That's a big challenge, So,
yeah, you have requests coming from home.
Yes.
From your siblings,
yes.
all of that. Yeah. We have that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, before we get into the scholarship bit, can you share with me a little bit? So, in the area that you've chosen, the linguistics area, the broader linguistics area, what are the trends that you see? And also, what are some of the prospects? What are areas that this field is applicable for?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, I talked about language teaching and learning. Yeah. So in language teaching and learning, we can apply linguistics. So people who teach, say, TRE, for instance, in basic schools, they need to receive some training, when it comes to language teaching. And I guess that many of them receive training in training colleges, and their professors have received training in applied linguistics. So they guide them as to how to teach it.
Yes.
Then we have a lot of things going on now in the tech world, AI.
Yes.
And these robots are using language, to do stuff.
Yes.
So they need people to help them to be effective.
Yes.
Now these people have training in computer science and linguistics.
Wow.
So we call something computational linguistics.
Somebody must write that down.
Yeah.
Computational linguistics.
Yeah, linguistics. So there's a combination of computer science and linguistics.
That would be an incredible field.
Yes, and this field helps in dealing with AI stuff, the robots and all of that, because you need some coding and all of that too.
So who can get into that kind of a program? What background do they have to be able to get into that kind of program? This is the kind of program I would want my niece or my nephew to jump into. I kid you not. Oh man, that excites me.
Yeah, so they need some computer science background and some
Okay.
linguistics background. I mean, they can take classes in coding, for instance.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, coding in R, in Python,
Okay.
all of those. I'm actually receiving training in R and Python.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Together with your PhD program?
Yeah, some of those things are integrated into the program. So they prepare you for both academia and the industry.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you were talking about the industry side, which excited me. So we veered off a little bit. This thing gets excited. Yeah, I mean, exciting anywhere, any which direction you take it. Yeah. So continue. So the first track is, in the academia, in teaching, and you mentioned tech and AI. So let's continue in the areas where linguistics are applicable.
Yeah. So we have speech pathology.
Okay.
Some people have speech problems, and we have linguists who help in solving those problems.
Wow. So you can actually work in a clinical setting?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I would never, folks, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm just blown away. I would never in a billion years have ever thought about this line, man. Selikem, this is great. This is revolutionary. So this is what I want my young guys, African young guys, to know. I just want to bring people like Selikem on and open all of us our eyes, because I'm getting really serious education here today.